Hello and welcome back to another video. Welcome back to the YouTube channel and welcome back to Premier League Countdown. Today is the Fulham episode. I'm glad that some of you guys have been enjoying these. Obviously, we're counting down to the Premier League starting by previewing every team each day. And yeah, make sure to like the video. Make sure to subscribe if you are new. We're trying to hit 500 before the end of the year. We're over 80 away. And it looks like we can hit that very soon. GVO mics on all platforms. So that's Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok as well, as it says at the bottom. And yeah, let's get straight into Fulham. And now the title is Are Fulham Doing Underrated Business? Now, the reason why I'm saying this is because they have only signed two players, but these are two players that could probably do a really good job within the Marco Silva system. Now, there's been a lot of departures. I don't know whether Fulham are actually going through FFP problems, but at the same time, they are looking to actively still find another midfielder um, and two centre backs from what I've seen. I don't know if that's reliable or not, but definitely a centre back and a midfielder. I don't know if two centre backs is going to be the one, but at the same time, when you look at the centre backs they have now, after tossing around a bio left on a free, Tim Ream, Issa Diop, and Calvin Bassey, I can see why they'd want two centre backs. Diego Carlos being one of them, which I think would be a good signing. I'm a bit surprised that he's even up for sale, but I don't know what's going on with that. I'm not particularly sure why Fulham are after Scott McTominay, if I'm being completely honest, unless he's going to play where usually Harrison Reed would play as slightly advanced midfielder, like ever so slightly advanced midfielder, going box to box, etc. Definitely not a Paulinho replacement, that's for sure, because that guy cannot play as a six. To be honest, I don't really see McTominay as a good player in general. I don't really even see him as much of an upgrade on Harrison Reed. People are going to be like, what? But Scott McTominay scores way more goals. I just think Harrison Reed or a Lukic, for example, they're way better controlling the ball and dictating play and way better for the system in general. I think McTominay would cause a lot of Fulham fans headaches. Like he scores the occasional goal, but scoring a goal now and then doesn't get you anywhere. Um, that's why I'm just saying, like now and then doesn't mean he's a consistent performer. He's definitely not even a performer at all. If I'm being completely honest, when I'm talking about Scott McTominay as a general signing, as a general player. Now, if we look at the two signings that they've done, the two signings that they've done is Ryan Sessegnon and Emil Smith Rowe. But let's take a look at their departures first. João Paulinho was expected to go really after his deal fell through at Bayern Munich last season, and he's actually a great signing for Bayern Munich in general, in my opinion. And yeah, that was kind of expected. I also think 51 million euros for someone that's 29 years old is also a good fee, but I also think it was good for all parties. However, they do need to sign a proper like number six to break up play and then distribute the ball, etc. Obviously, Rodak was second choice keeper. Bobby D could ever Reed went on a free. Was decent for Fulham, especially in a championship from what I've seen. However, you kind of got to be past these wingers as much as these wingers can do a job. No room for sentiment and all that. But if we take a look at their arrivals, obviously their two arrivals are Ryan Sessegnon and Emil Smith Rowe. Now, obviously Ryan Sessegnon, I think, was on trial at Crystal Palace. Obviously West Ham were looking at him as well on trial. The rumours that he could have been in our pre-season for a bit, but he was even in Crystal Palace tracksuit taking pictures, etc. But he ended up going to Fulham. I don't think he's a great player, don't get me wrong, but I actually think it's a good move for his career. Just go where you're suited almost, somewhere where you're comfortable, and try and revive your career. He's still 24, so he can definitely get his career back on track, and so is Emil Smith Rowe. He would definitely do better on the left wing in a 4-2-3-1. Obviously, played quite a lot on the left wing anyway. Definitely not a left back in a back four. If they're signing him for that, definitely not better than Anthony Robinson, who, by the way, is probably one of the most underrated players in the league. I know Man City were looking at him at one point to replace Cancelo, but I don't know if that was true. But um, he's still underrated in my opinion. He had a better season 2 seasons ago than he did last year, but still, I like him, man. I've always liked Anthony Robinson. And that's why I mentioned Harrison Reed earlier. I think as much as Harrison Reed didn't really have his greatest season last season either, I've always liked Harrison Reed as a player. Like even under Scott Parker, I always liked him. Um, if we're looking at Fulham in general, like I don't think Fulham will get relegated. I don't think Fulham will get Europe. I think they'll just be very comfortable with a mid-table. I don't know whether Fulham are in a position where they just need stability, or whether they want to eventually look to the next level and maybe try and get into Europe, etc. They go on these patches where they either lose a bunch of games or win a bunch of games, which pretty much puts you into mid-table. Someone that could have another great season is Rodrigo Munoz. We'll see if that patch was just a purple patch or it was real. Or it was real and he was just making that step up. I'm very impressed with how he approached some of the games he approached in the back end of last season. Obviously, destroying Tottenham as well, getting some really key goals. But I'm gonna watch him close this season just because, yeah, when we see these players go into form at the back end of the season, you do wonder if it's a purple patch or not. Same with the John Philippe Matata at Crystal Palace. I know he's doing well in the Olympics right now, but we'll see if that's the system that's changed John Philippe Matata or not. But Emil Smith Rowe is a signing as well. Emil Smith Rowe is a great signing for Fulham. Um, a big upgrade on what they have, whether they want to play him on the left or in the 10. I'd suggest in the 10. Um, I think he's a massive upgrade on Andreas Pereira. It's just a matter of whether he can stay fit. Andreas Pereira can fill in as a squad player, could do all right. But Emil Smith Rowe, yeah, massive upgrade. Massive upgrade. It would be somewhere very beneficial for Smith Rowe as well. Like it is, that's a good career move. That's a very good career move. I like the announcement video as well, with the whole Thames and across the road, the puns and stuff like that. But um, in general, he can really kickstart his career, play his football again. He needs to play first team football. He couldn't be sitting on the bench all the time at Arsenal, even though um, he's a Arsenal through and through and all that nonsense. He needs to get his career back on track. Uh, we'll see if like Willian can do it again for another season down the left, or whether Ryan Sessegnon will be the guy to step in again. Another man who I will say, it's just about if he stays fit, because they've signed two injury-prone players, and they're both 24, both looking to get their careers back on stage. Both were wonder kids, and probably won't fulfill their potential that they were looked at as from like 3, 4 years ago. But fuck it, you need to get your career back on track. Like it's not too late. It's not too late, and it's good because it's not like a loan. Like it's not like they loan Smith Rowe in and he do really well, then he goes back to Arsenal and then he still doesn't play at Arsenal. You know, like it's good that they got him in a permanent deal because even if he does impress, he can carry on at Fulham maybe for a couple more seasons and then maybe get his big move if he does go on the trajectory that he's meant to go on as well. I'm trying to think with the Fulham squad as well. The right back situation. Obviously, Kevin Mbabu has not really been liked ever since he joined Fulham. Not really been in favour under Marco Silva. Obviously, Kenny Tete is the main one to know. Kenny Tete is a bit of a slight cult hero, I think, at Fulham. I'm not too sure. Fulham fans would have to educate me on that. But maybe they want to look at the right back situation, see if they want any more competition with that. Diego Carlos would also be a good signing, as I said earlier. Obviously, they signed Issa Diop. Issa Diop is like, I think Fulham fans would even tell you, he can give you a really good game or a really shit game. Very erratic and probably too lean as a centre back. I did like Issa Diop, but he did need to go. Better than Aged, though. I'll tell you that for sure. He's been better than Aged has been for West Ham. But uncomfortable conversations there from a West Ham point of view. Obviously, Tim Ream is getting on a bit. He's definitely a cult hero at Fulham. According to Fulham fans, they chant his name every time he wins a tackle. Calvin Bassey, we'll see if he can have a good season as well. I do like Calvin Bassey. I did want him at West Ham at one point. He's one of them guys that was also a bit of a wonder kid, but he's never really found a home that he can settle in. Obviously, he was doing well at Rangers. They went to Ajax, then they shipped him out quick. So maybe he could have just stayed at Rangers, but that was probably we could all say these kind of things in hindsight, you know. But in general, when it comes to Fulham, I think they'll have a good season in terms of for their standards as well. I think they're not necessarily a boring team because they're actually quite entertaining to watch. But in general, I realize I've had my microphone this whole time. I am completely sorry for the viewers at home. I've had my microphone off this whole time. I've only just turned it on. So apologies for that. Typical me. But overall, they still need to do more business, in my opinion. I'm not saying they're in any danger of anything if they don't do business, but there's still situations to look at, like the striker situation. There's only Rodrigo Munoz that you can really say, okay, needs a proper striker. Carlos Vinicius come back from end of loan. I don't know if he's going to be shipped back out. If we look at the departures, no one's departed from the striker position at Fulham at this current moment in time. The right back situation, the number 6 position, maybe the centre backs as well. I don't know how much business they can do. Obviously, they spent a bit of money on Smith Rowe, but that's obviously come back from the Palhinha sale as well. So that kind of evens it out a bit. So if you're a Fulham fan, I'm sorry for the microphone not being on. So you've kind of heard the Mac sound. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. And what have I said wrong? What have I said right? And have I underestimated you? Have I overestimated you? I think Marco Silva's a very good manager. You probably he didn't have a good spell at Everton and was probably deservedly sacked. But at the same time, when it comes to Marco Silva, he's got his career back on track in terms of a manager. The way he's looked at, I'm glad he rejected the Saudi deal. I'm sorry, but you don't need to throw your career away like that for the money. If you want to get the money, I'm not going to dispute that, but it's all about your career, you know? Do you want to leave a legacy? Do you give a shit about it? And he's been really good for Fulham. And what Fulham have struggled with in the past is when they've got promoted, they haven't survived. But they've survived 2 seasons in a row. And they'll definitely survive this year. I have no issue with, not no issue, but I have no concerns of them getting relegated anytime soon. I think they're quite stable. They're quite in a good position. I think if I was to make an early prediction, it'll be around 13th, 14th. But I'll bring you my Premier League predictions next week as well. But big up to everyone watching. Make sure to like the video. Make sure to subscribe if you are new. Social medias are in the description if you want to follow me. The email for the inquiries. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.